Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8-Second Gaming, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the Season 5 tank tier list. There haven't been too many direct changes to the tanks other than ROADHOG and Junker Queen, but you guys still want to know where they're falling in the tiers, and we've got you covered. But before we hop into those, if you guys are looking to take your Overwatch skill to the next level, then you need to check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there we have top level coaches, including myself, creating the best, most highly informative guides to make you the best player you could possibly be. Doesn't matter what you struggle with, we have solutions for you, so click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, and start to improve today. But okay, now jumping into things and starting off with the D tier, you know we have to put ROADHOG in here. Simply put, he is just a bigger ultimate battery for the enemy team now. Sure, he is tankier, he can live longer in the front line, but that was never how ROADHOG was meant to be played. ROADHOG wants to play solo and off angle, finding sneaky picks and one-shots. Upping his sustain when his team is with him doesn't solve that issue, which keeps him at the bottom of D tier. But now let's move into the C tier and we have to put WINSTON. Again, nothing has really changed. Monkey isn't what he was before Junker Queen's big buffs, and he finds most matchups extremely difficult, regardless of the almost impossible to notice buff he received where his jump damage was increased. Nothing really changed the way he is decimated by Junker Queen and Ramatra, and it's really just an unfortunate case that the tanks that are good right now are really good into Monkey. Well, except ROADHOG, and the tanks that Monkey are good into are pretty bad, like ZARYA. Now coming in just a little bit higher than WINSTON here is Doomfist, still remaining in the C tier as again, nothing has really changed. His ability to negate enemy plays and make plays of his own is the same. And unless he is directly buffed, he will likely stay in this tier. However, we are very close to moving him around because of these new Cassidy changes. But now it's B tier time, and you guys know we have to put Sigma here. Sure, bottom of B tier doesn't feel too fun, but he is simply too situational. Don't get me wrong though, the poke he can put out is devastating, and frankly, we would be happy putting him in A tier if he had a slight budge in the right direction. If he still had his one-shot combo and how he was progressed in the meta, he works great in most tanks, especially when played into Junker Queen or Ramatra. Zoning them out before they can even make it to you makes it feel like a field day, especially with a team composition designed around your strengths. Most of the time, they can't even get within range to do their damage and get their comfort zone in the brawling state. But another pick finding themselves here is Reinhardt. He brawls worse than the other brawl tanks. He finds less value than most actually, and currently has no good matchups. I mean, he feels nice into some picks like Wrecking Ball if you have Cassidy, but we just don't see a point in playing him right now. Still, he will never be as bad as ROADHOG, so putting him in the middle of B tier feels pretty good to us. Now another person that's finding themselves in the middle of B tier is Wrecking Ball. You may have noticed he falls underneath ZARYA in this list, and why, you might ask? Well, because Cassidy. Imagine this situation. You are playing Wrecking Ball into a team composition with Sombra and Cassidy. You try to go in, hack. You finally avoid the Sombra, hindered. Cassidy and Sombra isn't even a bad team composition, and frankly, it's decently well balanced. We aren't saying that you won't find any value on Ball. He is relatively powerful, but in comparison to other tanks who won't be fully countered by a single DPS, yeah, we don't really see him having much fun this patch. And our highest B tier pick has to be ZARYA. Honestly, it was a really close call to put her into A tier or B tier, but she works really well into Junker Queen and Diva, who are both very strong picks at the moment. Her ability to output damage in a meta so defined by bursting people down is near unmatched, but her main drawback will always simply be the inability to gain charge. She loses charge extremely quickly, and the heroes in the meta right now don't exactly do her any favors. As against very spam-oriented compositions, she will be able to maintain high charge pretty much every single fight. But the main reason she is higher on the list than say Monkey or Doomfist is her ability to deny Junker Queen self-healing. Yeah, that's right, we have unexpectedly seen it a lot. But ZARYA is actually turning out to be a pretty good option into the Queen. She can bubble herself or her allies when the Queen goes for a big axe swing, leaving her without self-healing and likely dead. And unlike Wrecking Ball, who you may be surprised to see ranked under ZARYA, finds great value into these sustain-oriented brawly tanks without a blatant full counter. A DPS countering ZARYA means sniper, who doesn't let her farm charge, and that's quite the difference between avoiding letting you do damage and fully sending you to spawn. But now let's move into the A tier, and starting it off here we have Orisa. We absolutely wish we could put her higher. She isn't affected by Cassidy's changes and doesn't have flat out counters like even D.Va has, but she still finds great value into Ramattra and Junker Queen. I mean, she just seems to be in such an odd spot. Her abilities are super powerful, she has the best survivability out of all the tanks, has at least some sort of mobility with her spin, and can output decent damage. Yet despite all of that, she isn't an S tier hero. Kinda goes to show how broken the others are. But now the top of A tier always goes to D.Va. We talk about her all the time. She is too flexible to not be the best in A tier, if not S tier. The only thing holding her back is the meta. I can imagine if Monkey was an A or S tier hero, D.Va would have to be as well. Her mobility hasn't changed, however it can be hindered by Cassidy's grenade if not eaten up by defense matrix, and her damage output is still unmatched. We simply wish she had a tiny bit more brawl potential, as in this meta, if you can't maintain space instead of stealing it or punishing enemies for taking it, what's even the point? That's why on high ground maps, she is king, or queen I guess. But now let's move into S tier, and Junker Queen is actually dropping a spot. That's insane to hear, right? But the nerf she received making her ultimate cost more and making her gain less health with her shout pushes her ever so slightly away from that top spot. Certainly still an S tier pick, but it's hard to argue for her being number 1 right now, especially since her ultimate is in fact impacted by Hinder. She is still played the same though, her strong suit being that she sustains heavily with her bleed effect, which she applies quite easily. Melee, ultimate, axe, it all applied in many ways, and is too impactful for her to drop out of S tier, as even if she can't kill you, we doubt you're killing her. And for the top S tier spot, finally gaining some recognition as the strongest tank in the game, we have to put Ramattra. We have said it too many times, nothing has changed. Ramattra still beats the brakes off anyone who dares stand in his way. The sustain he has, the brawl potential he has, and he is the only tank in the game that will outdamage Zarya in the one-on-one staring contest purely based on his armor and health pool. If you haven't picked him out yet, you really need to, receiving 225 armor 3 times in a row in under 8 seconds. Tell me that that does not sound broken to you. And while doing so, you just bash away at your enemies. With the speed boost you gain from Nemesis form and the AoE damage your ultimate gives off, we really can't overstate how powerful this pick is, as the amount of value you gain from each ability will leave you struggling to not find value in every situation. But let me know if you would change any of these rankings in the comments down below, and if you guys want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Overwatch tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button. Thanks all for watching. Once again, I made Second Game, and I'll see you guys in the next one.